Hey, welcome to this week's Making Music trumpet video. Today we're going to be doing some blues. We're going to be playing Sonnymoon for Two, which is a famous jazz song written by the saxophonist Sonny Rollins. So this is a blues in concert B flat, so that's C for us. So I've included the music on the website, so make sure you have that ready. But you could also learn this song by ear, and maybe that'd be more fun to try first and then look at the music later, because it's actually just a simple phrase that's repeated 3 different times. And it's a blues is a 12 measure. Usually a blues is 12 measures long in a form. And this song that we're playing, it's a 4 measure phrase that's repeated 3 times. Then 3 times 4, you get 12 measures. So that's the whole thing. So it's actually not so bad to learn just by ear. So maybe that's a fun thing to do. First of all, so that it also uses a different scale than we've been using. It uses actually a pentatonic scale, which is a 5-note scale in C minor. So the notes that it uses are these ones. So it's actually really close to the blues scale. If you play the blues scale, I'm just going to add one more note, and then that's what you get. So that time I added the first scale, the C minor pentatonic, or at least the version of C minor pentatonic that we're using for this song. You play C, E flat, F, G, high B flat, and then high C. So let's try that from the bottom, just going up the scale, those notes. So once more, it's C, E flat, F, G, B flat, and then high C. So pentatonic scale is just a 5-note scale, and there's many different types of pentatonic scales. And this is probably the most common one that you would use for a minor, in minor. So it's the 1, the flat 3, the 4, the 5, and the flat 7. And then when you get up to the top note, that's not a different note, the high C, that's back to the tonic. The 8th note of the scale is the same as the first. So that's why it's not a 6-note scale. It's actually just 5 different notes, even though we're playing the 6th note on the top. So let's do that again. The C, E flat, F, G, B flat. C going up. So if the high C is a little bit of a reach, it's okay. You can even play it, just jump down an octave when you get down to the last note, or the last 2 notes. So if you can't get up to high B flat and high C, you can try it like this. So I played low B flat and low C after I played up to the G. But it'll sound a little different that way, but it's okay. Now let's play it from the scale going from high C down to low C. Use it just in reverse order. So C, B flat, G, F, E flat, C. Let's do that again. I'll go a little slower this time too. All right. Now let's do a version where you don't start on the high C. This is for if you have just your range, maybe it only goes up to G or a little above. So we're going to start on low C, C, B flat, and then G, F, E flat, C. Okay, cool. So that's the C minor pentatonic scale. Now let's go from the bottom to the top and back to the bottom. Cool. So also notice whenever you're playing playing, then these scales that are this harder stuff that's going from low to high. It's always important anyway when you're playing the trumpet to have good posture, to get your head up nice and tall. Pretend someone's pulling your ears with a piece of string, like you're a puppet, to the ceiling. That's a little tip that I use. Because when you're sitting up nice and tall like that, you can take a really big breath without much effort, and then that gives you a better tone on the trumpet and also makes it easier to play a wider range, low to high and higher, without doing as much work and getting tense. So always have your ears up, and then you can take a nice deep relaxed breath, and then you'll have a better tone. So now let me show you the song. That's enough about the pentatonic scale. So this song, it starts on the high C. Da, 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 da. So when you get down to the low C, it repeats a couple times. But other than that, it's just each note once going down. So it goes like this. This is with the rhythm too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's the first phrase. Maybe try to sing it back, just the rhythm. 1, da, 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 da. So this is a jazz song. So the rhythm, we're using what's called swing eighth notes. So when you swing the eighth notes, the first one, whatever note is on the downbeat is going to be a little longer than the note that's on the upbeat as far as eighth notes are concerned. So it's not totally even. So it's like da, 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 da. It's actually what's called a triplet feel. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, da, da. We're subdividing the beat into 3 parts. 3 triplet eighth notes, and then whatever notes on the downbeat, it's kind of like 2 triplet eighth notes, and then the next one is like the third. So it's a little different than normal eighth notes. Okay, so here it is again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's try to play that. Da, you should just start on that high C, just follow along. A little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and also notice that we're not starting on the downbeat. I should have said that earlier, probably. But we're starting on the upbeat of 1. So it's like 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and. That's how you would count the rhythms. So mostly quarter notes, but that first note is actually a dotted quarter note starting on the upbeat of 1, and it's held for all of beat 2. So 1, da, da, and then you go to the next note on the downbeat of 3. So 1, da, da, da. Okay, let's just try that phrase one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. So now here's the next phrase. So it'll go right after what we just played. 2, 3, 4. So you notice that is kind of just this one little phrase that's repeated. The phrase is 1, da do 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 do, and then you repeat it again. And the notes are C, E flat, F, E flat, C. Okay, so let's do that phrase again. So that also comes in on the upbeat of 1. So it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So you can take a minute to practice that. But what we're going to do now is put both those phrases together, the first phrase and the second phrase. And then we'll have the complete 4-measure phrase that's the base, like the whole tune, basically. Okay, here he goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's the 4-measure phrase. Now I'm going to put on a play along that I have here. I have a little Bluetooth speaker that you can't actually see. But I have this tune on a little play along app I use called iRealBe. I have this queued up. So this is what the song actually sounds like if we had a rhythm section or a band playing with us. And a rhythm section in jazz is piano, bass, drums usually, or guitar, bass, drums, or both piano and guitar. Here we go. I think this is a good tempo. Yeah. Right. So that's the melody. I played that phrase 3 times, and that's a whole chorus, what you call a chorus in the blues. It's 12 measures. So that's just using the pentatonic scale. Now, after you play the melody in jazz, usually everyone gets, or whoever wants a turn to improvise, gets a turn to improvise a solo, and making up phrases that go along with the chord changes and the rhythm. Basically, just on this, based on knowledge of the theory about the chords and scales they use in the song, but really just like playing what you hear in your head, which is actually the most fun part of jazz. So when you're improvising, you could actually use on a tune like this, the C blues, a way to get started if you're just beginning improvising, which all of you most likely are, or at least would be beginners. You could use the C blues scale. And like I said before, this just uses the same notes that we did before, but add an F sharp also. So you get. So that's the blues scale. And kind of like you could just make up phrases using that scale to start off. And kind of no matter what you do, it's going to sound good when you play it over these chord changes for a C blues. And you just use your ear and make up, whatever you're hearing in your head. And at first, it takes a lot of experimentation to get used to translate what you're hearing in your head to actually be able to play it on your instrument. And actually, that takes years to get really good. But you can just start by playing a couple notes, maybe just the first 3 or 4 notes of the scale from the bottom. Let's say you just limit yourself to C, E flat, F, and F sharp, 4 notes, and make up different orders. Repeat certain notes. Do whatever you want with that. I was just making sure I was still recording. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of improvising just with the first 4 notes of the blues scale. And you could try this. You could actually even look up B flat blues backing track on YouTube, because we're a concert B flat instrument, the trumpet. So when we play our C blues, that's actually concert B flat blues. So you'd have to look up B flat blues backing track, slow, and then try that. Or you could get this app, the iRealBe app, but it costs about $13 or something, so you might not be ready for that yet. Anyway, and then we're just going to improvise with those notes, and you can see what it sounds like. Turn that off. All right, so that was just using those 4 notes. And you see, maybe if I was really playing, I would play other notes in the scale and such. But you can actually just limit yourself to a small portion of the scale to get started. Even maybe just the first 2 notes, the C and the E flat even, and just see what kind of melodies you can make up. And you don't need even the backing track to get started with that. You can you look at the blues scale, find it on the sheet music, and just improvise with it, and make up your own little type of melodies like that. So anyway, that's an abbreviated version of Sonnymoon for 2, and starting on improvising over it. And obviously, you can spend years practicing improvising, and it's actually really rewarding and fun. And that's one of my favorite things, actually, on trumpet. I like to play jazz and improvise because you get to be the composer in the moment. Always, like when you're making up a solo, you're basically composing ideas on the spot, and that's what's actually the most fun for me. So anyway, that's it for now. Hope you had a good time playing Sonnymoon for 2, and keep practicing that, and keep practicing the improvising with it. All right, see ya.